Namaste. Welcome for Zen Yoga's Tadasana. Tadasana being mountain pose, the very foundational posture of our yoga practice. Standing firm like a mountain. We're going to begin with the foundation. Feet should be straight, parallel, and directly under the hips. If you need more stability, you can walk the feet out a little bit. Eventually, Tadasana would be done with the feet touching. Really, it's just the big toe touching, as there's a slight inner movement of the thigh and outward movement of the heels. Here, we'll start in the middle road. Feet should be straight, and we're looking for that second toe to be aligned with the front of the shin, the front of the kneecap, and the front of the hip. So we're always looking for this direct vertical line. Of course, the front and the back of the feet should be parallel. We'll start by lifting the toes and anchoring the four corners of the feet. Ball of the inner foot, ball of the outer foot, and inner and outer heel. There should be equal weight, forward and back, inside, outside, and left and right. This is the beginning of finding center. Spread the toes, grip the mat, and create the foundation. Knees are going to be slightly unlocked here. So we're not resting on our skeleton. Instead, we're resting on the muscular system, or using that muscular system. The tailbone has a downward anchoring. So think of like a ship anchor dropping down. Sometimes you'll hear, I'll do this from the side, tucking the tailbone, but if you already have an over scoop in the back, that tailbone might scoop too far forward, creating a misalignment and pushing of the thighs forward. So instead, what we're going to do here is we're going to focus, we'll bring the thighs back some, then we're going to root that tailbone down as if drawing down a heavy ship anchor. There's a circle here, whereas this comes down, this comes up. So this is a very foundational piece. If I can get this in this posture, I can use it in all of my yoga postures or all of the asanas. There's the idea, my teacher would say, zip the tight pants. So I'm kind of pulling up and in from the perineum, or the front of the pelvic floor, up to the navel. The perineum, or mula bandha, muladhara actually, is locking a bandha. So that pelvic floor perineum is pulling up, much like a Kegel exercise. So I have a lift in the low belly and a descend here. So it creates this motion of the energy pulling up, going through the navel to the Mingmen kidneys and down through that tailbone anchoring. It does scoop under, perineum closed. I do this with the knees bent, the thighs drawing back, and the tailbone rooting down. Keeping that action, low belly lifting, tailbone down. Taking the front low ribs and pulling them down gently. So I'm almost closing this gap, if you would imagine. So here, the zipping of the tight pants pulls up, the front low ribs pull down. Both energetically pull back through and express around the kidney and Mingmen space. So this is coming down, up, and back. And this one is coming down, in, and back. So we want to be able to keep that action. Now you'll notice sometimes when I draw those low ribs down, it pulls my sternum forward. So I have to counterbalance that part of the pose, lifting the low belly, anchoring the tailbone, drawing the low ribs down and back and in, yet lifting the front of the sternum and the collarbone. So this energetically comes up and open. The collarbones are expanded. The sternum has a slight lift, but it's balanced. So it's not excessive lifting or dumping, right? So I'll show you, it's not overly too much and overly not enough. So first, eventually, yes, I can expand into the pose, but I have to find tailbone, low belly, ribs, drawing back, sinking, opening the shoulders. So now the energy here, right, goes up, in, and back and down. Down, in, and back. Up, through the throat chakra, throat center, hollow of the throat, and back and down. So the energy rolls back and down. Shoulder blades come onto the back. So we take the head of the arms, shoulders come back. Scapula slide towards the spine. They pull down the back. They scoop and lift in the back of the heart. That creates this heart lift. That heart lift comes from the shoulder blade engagement. So again, if I take the shoulders, pull them in, slide them together, scoop the back of the heart. That's how I'm going to get this nice heart opening that we always see in our yoga pose. Feet straight, equal weight, front and back of the foot, left to right, knees bent, thighs kind of coming in, not collapsing, heels pulling apart, tailbone rooting, low belly lifting, low ribs drawing down, slightly back, sternum and collarbones lifting, up and open through the throat, scapula or shoulder blades coming onto the back. Then chin tucks. So here's the next trick, because sometimes the skull comes forward and we add extra weight to our body here. So actually what I want to do with this chin is I'm going to bring it slightly back and down as if I'm lifting. Watch the ears. The ears come back and up. I'm almost rolling back and up to create a lift through the occipital ridge and up through the back crown of the head. So here I come in and up and lift. So ultimately what I want is this opposition action. So yoga, all of our postures are going to have opposing forces, muscular and organic, or expanding and contracting. So I have this downward energy of the tailbone, yet upward energy of the back of the head, lengthening the spine in two directions, creating an opening. So if I can find that action, chin, back, up and in, this lower skull lifts up and back, up and back. I occupy this part of my skull instead of this part. So I want to be mindful about lifting and coming into the back of the skull. Okay, feet straight, knees bent, heels gently pulling apart, especially as we come closer, right? The big toes will touch, the heels will pull apart, and you'll be able to create movement between the thighs. Tailbone down, low belly lifts, low ribs down, heart open. Energy comes up and back, chin drops, back of the ears lift. Now, elbows float out. I want to be very mindful about clearing the armpits. BKS Iyengar says, if you want to lessen depression, clear and cool the armpits. TCM, there's all these heated energy lines that go through here. So if I'm here, they keep closed and the heat gets trapped. So here I'm going to open and create a ventilation system so that all of that heat can be released. So I come in, the shoulders are open, the hands are pulling down to the floor like magnets attracted to the earth. That's going to help draw the shoulders down. So I find my posture rooting. The feet push down into the earth as if a tree root. So the feet mentally go past the mat with roots through the floor into the earth. That comes down. This reaches into the sky above. Find your breath now, in and out of the nose. So Tadasana, find your alignment, and then soften into the pose. Repeat this often. Thank you for joining for Zen Yoga's Tadasana. Namaste.